Hello everyone. The purpose of this presentation is to cover the basics of MAC address spoofing. And in order to do that, we're first going to take a look at the basics of the MAC address. Alright, so the MAC address is handled at layer 2 in the OSI model, or the data link layer. Each MAC address is 48 bits long, which equates to 6 octets. It doesn't matter if your device is an iPhone, an Xbox, a PC, it's always going to have a MAC address. Essentially, if the device can get an IP address, then it is going to have a MAC address. So the assignment of MAC addresses are handled by IEEE. They do this in the form of organizationally unique identifiers. To shorten this, we'll just call them vendor IDs. These are 24 bits long. They essentially cover the first 3 octets of a MAC address. The reason that they do this is it creates a structured list of what manufacturers have what pools of MAC addresses, so that it's easy to differentiate between an iPhone and an Xbox. So what is MAC address spoofing? Well, MAC address spoofing, in a very simple definition, is changing your MAC address to mimic another device. So this can be problematic for network security. Being able to detect this is kind of challenging. I mean, you could do this in looking at the traffic, and if you see a device doing something different than it normally does, and it takes a lot of analysis to be able to pull this off. So, what are the threats of MAC address spoofing? Well, essentially it's device identity theft. You might be able to get, certain privileges if you spoof your MAC address to be that of an Xbox. Maybe your network has certain restrictions that are placed on you if you're a PC that aren't there if you're an Xbox, because you shouldn't have certain capabilities. Well, if you spoof the MAC address and the network uses your MAC address to detect what kind of device you are, then you're able to get around these kinds of things, which, if it's not wanted by a network security administrator, then it's a problem. So, at least looking at the basics, it's so easy to actually spoof your MAC address. You can see why it could be a problem for a security administrator, and that's what we're going to be looking at is how to actually spoof it, not necessarily the steps that you would take to secure your network against this. The first step to MAC address spoofing is locating your original MAC address so that you can compare it with your results at the end of the process, so that you can realize that there indeed was a change. To do this, you need to get to a command prompt. We're going to do this by pressing Windows key, R, and then we're going to type in CMD into the box, and then click OK. Once in the command prompt, you want to type ipconfig space /all, enter. Once here, you need to locate where your physical address is. Right? Make note of what the address is at this point. And then we're going to minimize this. Now, navigate to your control panel, and then go to your Network and Sharing Center. Once here, go to Manage Network Connections. Due to some errors with the software that I'm using to record, I'm having to skip ahead a few places just like right now, and I will in the next step. But basically, you're going to find your local area connection, which is what you use to get to the internet. You're going to right click and go to Properties, which will get you to this window. Then you're going to click Configure. Once you've clicked Configure, then you're going to go to the Advanced tab, go to Network Address, and then as you'll see here, I already have mine changed since I don't want to give away my original MAC address. But normally it is not present, and then you'll click this and be presented with a full string of zeros. So here I'm going to change a few of the numbers around just to make it a new address. This is essentially the spoofing part. Click OK. Your MAC addresses should now be changed. To check this, we will open up another command prompt with the process we did before. We'll type in ipconfig/all. Bring the other one back up, and as you can see, your MAC address has now been changed, and that's all there is to it.